You're listening to a Meatsmith Harvest. This is the podcast that encourages and equips you to grow your home around the harvest. Welcome, Meatsmiths. This dialogue picks up where we left off in our last episode's conversation. You can find part 1 on our website, YouTube, or iTunes. If the content resonates with you, please consider supporting our team by going to patreon.com/Meatsmith and donating a small monthly pledge. This goes directly toward more free media headed your way. Thanks for staying tuned for part 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out and make the argument because I think that we cook. We go to, like, even, Francis Mallmann with Seven Fires. And the reason we identify so much with this prolonged, engaged process of preparing food, even if it's primitive, like we love to cook over open flame.
Right.
That is still, that's primitive in a relative sense. That's
Sure.
The finished product is super human.
Yeah.
It is so delicious. It's so good. And I don't think it's necessarily because it's hearkening back to some primordial, this is how we used to eat in the bush. It's not really. That's really controlled, That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like a cordero al asador, like a lamb.
Yeah.
We picked, certain kind of wood. We have a certain kind of apparatus, and we have the luxury to cook this thing until it is about to fall off the spit without burning it. So there's so much subtlety and skill involved there.
Yeah, there is.
And why do we do that? Why do we love barbecue so much? And I really, because it's way beyond flavor. Because flavor can be acquired. It can be changed, your personal likes and dislikes, and it's way beyond nutrition. Because you could just drink protein shakes and stuff, which some people do, which is unfortunate. I think it's because we are immortal. That's why we cook. Because that's our substantial form. And our bodies have that form.
Yeah.
So that's the design of the whole thing.
Go on out now, please. Thank you. Yes.
Therese still asleep?
Yep.
Wow. She's going for it.
That's our substantial form.
That's what I think.
Because we're immortal, so that's why we go through all the...
It's the only explanation that makes sense to me,
Yeah.
Because, I think Aquinas or someone said, I think it's Aquinas, that it's not so much that our bodies are in our souls are in our bodies, but that our bodies are in our souls. And since Descartes, we tend to think of our brain as this abstract thing that drives our bodies around, or that our identity is somehow, in our frontal cortex, and it's sort of abstract. As we progress in our exploration of the human body, we tend to locate it in the actual neurons and stuff, our self-knowledge, our consciousness. But when you just step back and think about the design of ourselves, the fact that we can think of ourselves at all, which is crazy.
Consciousness.
Yeah. That, I don't know. I think that you can call it the immortal soul or just your substantial form, like the form of yourself. If your content, you've got this matter that is your body and your brain, there's also the form of it. Primordial matter is formless, and everything that exists has form and matter. Has shape and function, and living things have motion. And I think that there's something to us that makes us want to go the extra mile and cook really well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think what you're tapping into almost is this strange dichotomy that we've made of work and gift. Like to the modern mind, work is work, play is play. Work, or I guess to receive something at all is different than working for it. Whereas, you go back to Aquinas or Aristotle. I remember it dawned on me when I did my thesis on Aquinas that human action at all is a receptive thing. It's receptive. Essentially, maybe, or substantially. It's to receive first and foremost. And so you translate that to the kitchen or to any pursuit, really, but we're talking about food. You got to tease out the Platonic form of what something ought to be. It takes work. But still all you're doing is receiving.
It's a lot of work to receive.
Yeah,
that's why you can prepare it. You can raise a pig and slaughter it and kill it and still feel grateful.
Yeah, right.
That you're eating it.
Yes.
It's like, what? I did all of this. This is my due.
Yeah.
This is my wage. I better be eating this.
Yeah.
Whew,
Yeah.
So where does that gratitude come from? The notion that
that's what kind of rubs me wrong
still a gift.
With some of the foodies that I've heard articulate, because that kind of attitude can come across. And we just got to be really careful of that, because that's going down a dark path of earn and desert and all that.
Yeah, because it is still a miracle to me that you can salt, like osmosis, We know that cell walls are permeable. And so when you put salt on there, water goes out to the salt and dissolves and carries some salt ions back into the meat and runs the water off and thereby preserves the meat. And it's like, that's osmosis. It's like, it's also magic. No, I know. Really? That's what happens?
Yeah.
You mean it works that way?
Yeah.
That is a description.
Right.
But it's not an explanation.
Yeah.
That's amazing. There's a form to the porcine flesh. There's form even to something inanimate like salt that has this reaction.
Yeah.
And then why do we like it so much? So all of that, we're sort of interacting in this environment where we can, through our labor, we are receiving the gift of all of it. We get to participate in it.
Well, here's an example.
And that's part of the gift itself.
Yes.
Is our tilling and our cultivating and our harvesting.
And in fact,
it's actually good for us.
Our labor can actually turn something from something. It changes the identity of something from, let's say, even a poison to an edible or a nutritive edible.
Yeah, or like a pig into human.
Yeah.
Like that Wendell Berry poem.
Okay.
Nutrition. You're like, well, you eat it and your stomach breaks down the proteins and then it becomes blood soluble in your intestines and it's like, what? You mean the pig becomes me? It's broken down on that level?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
How does that?
Yeah, we need to not lose that sense of mystery, even as we're learning about these processes. But it is ultimately, it's been given to us to be able to figure out these processes.
Yeah.
So actually, this is a way you can keep growing in our knowledge of them.
Yeah.
And never lose that sense of wonder about it.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it's just, that's what I keep coming back to when I see, when we cook a feast, when we stuff a pig head with chestnuts and bone it out, stuff it with chestnuts and roast it. Or roast a lamb for 10 hours over a spit. And it's like, I think, or, even the way we smoke meat, we do it the hard way that takes longer, which is just more application of culinary art and sensibility. It's not less, even though it's simpler kit, it's actually more demanding. It's calling for more from the person preparing. So it's like, well, I think that's how people who feel themselves to be immortal eat. I think that's how they do it.
Yeah.
They're like, me, I am immortal. Therefore, I am going to set the table with silverware.
Yeah.
And we are going to wait and sit down together.
We might even sing a song or a hymn to our food.
I know. We're going to feast. It's beyond. And I think it I don't know. You see like I wonder if there is a parallel, between that and the animal that kills and eats or the animal that eats. What is that kill step? It's just interesting to me. The difference.
It is fun to watch animal nature shows with you. We do that with the kids, once a week usually. And all the kids are like, whoa, look at that. And you're sort of dissecting it usually you're rooting for the predator. Whereas all the emotional music is geared towards
the prey.
Your sentimentality towards the prey. Yeah. And so you've actually trained the kids are usually like, yeah, go hawk, go, panther, who's like,
go African wild dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, they're working.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
I see them working hard. That's why they're so shredded.
Yeah.
They're ripped. Because they are just...
Oh, we feel it too when they don't get the prey.
And you know what? They don't complain.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's admirable.
They don't go, forget this. I'm going to go eat some grass.
Yeah.
It's like, no. They just stand there. They just walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk away. We just chase that thing, use my energy for I have to recoup for 36 hours before I can hunt again. And
right.
They're just...
So that's a neat...
It's amazing.
That is a neat variable about animals that I've always looked at as a lack, but sometimes it's to their advantage, which is they don't have emotions like we do. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess emotion is actually tied to the body.
It's appetite.
Right.
Yeah, they do. They have degrees.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
And I guess so can we
if
we're disciplined about it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't let our emotions get us all riled up.
Yeah.
To actually the end of pursuing better our ends, because our emotions can get in our way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like the animals that failed, let's say they failed at something.
Yeah. They don't experience shame. Like, wow, I'm so bad at this.
Yeah.
Such a bad lion. Dogs might feel that a little bit. Because they're so hyper intelligent and domesticated.
That's true. Yeah.
But I don't know.
But shame can actually be good too.
Yeah.
For us, because it motivates you to
it can
rise
help you
above.
Do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I brought that up because we were talking the other day. Maybe I should have brought this up ahead of time, but I'll just throw it at you. You said something like, I don't know if people know that I don't get emotional when I kill animals.
Yeah.
And I just think it was really funny to me at the time, but I think it actually is part of why your approach, well, A, that it's successful, and B, that it's, it's caught on for people.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know if all the, even our members have, well, emotions come up a lot, like in the forums or, they're like, how am I supposed to feel about this? The killing
It's
stage usually.
Yeah.
But even in the kitchen too, like if you have to throw out something that didn't work right, that can be emotional.
Yeah.
But how would you talk about your emotions during?
Yeah, I think it's more a matter of a lack of precision.
Okay.
in the way we talk about it than a lack of feeling.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
For me, you know, as a slaughterman, this is my job. Like if I were emotional at every kill, if I were feeling deeply, I would have to be a narcissist. I'd have to be utterly consumed with myself in that moment. And it is actually no favor to... This is something I've learned over the years, is that the animals do not benefit from our self-flattering. They do not benefit from our feeling of sadness when it is time to kill them. And it's not to say don't be sad. Like, obviously, of course not. But you also don't get to... We shouldn't congratulate ourselves for it too much. Because sometimes what the animal actually needs is for you to be decisive.
Yeah.
And get it done. Kill. And if it's so... I remember this was like one of the first jobs that I had where I was harvesting chickens for somebody, and they wanted me to hold the chickens a certain way. Because I was holding them upside down by habit to bring them to the cones. And I capitulated. And after the fact, I was like, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And they were acting out of the notion that you should cradle the chicken when you hold it. So it was a tenderness thing.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, you know, I react so slowly to things. It takes me forever to figure out what I think about anything. Hence this rambling podcast. But I had to really think about it. I was like, no, I hold them upside down because it's better for them.
Yeah.
You hold a chicken upside down. We demonstrate this in our classes all the time. They become passive. They go limp. Blood rushes to their head. If you're going to put them in a cone, they're going to bleed out quicker, right? It's actually better for the chicken. It's better maybe for a sensitive... a person that is overly occupied with their own feeling, to cradle them. That's for the person. That's for the slaughterman. That's not for the chicken. And it's not pernicious. It's just a lack of experience. You know, people don't grow up harvesting their food. And so they relate to the food that they eat in a way that they have learned to relate to pets. So I think there's lots of invincible ignorance there, just not knowing, lack of experience. But if the goal is a quick and decisive kill and as painless as is possible for the animal, then you need to put yourself out of the center of the picture. It's not about you. And do the job at hand, you know. And so it's it can actually be a totally joyful thing when you harvest an animal.
Yeah.
And I think it can still be sad in the sense, also, you know, and then he says that, you know, if you miss the company of a particular animal on the farm, right? But then, you know, yeah, so that would be the context for that. But when it comes to the moment of the kill, like you kind of need to put yourself aside.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about just the human person, we are organized in a certain way.
Yes.
We're hierarchical, even within our own bodies. We have a fully functioning person has an intellect that is on top.
Yeah.
And then we have our will, which is still formed by our intellect. And then actually on the bottom of that hierarchy are
our emotions.
Are the passions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we tend to legitimate our choices by the strength of our feeling.
Yeah.
Rather than by the best outcome or...
Right.
Yeah.
And if you have your intellect and your will, you know, clarified and strengthened, your passions will serve them well,
right,
if they're ordered. But otherwise, they're just wreaking havoc on you and everyone else.
They can. Yeah.
And even, well, I think rightly ordered, your passions ultimately serve others.
Right.
Like you're supposed to feel anger when someone else is being threatened. not so much yourself. Or joy, let's say, or well, joy is more of a virtue, but elation or enthusiasm, let's say, or like what's another appetite, passion, sorrow or something at someone else's situation, even more than your own. I think that that might be more of a rightly ordered person. And I'm just saying that because in the context of a slaughterman, right, you're trying to do right by this other creature before yourself, so that you're not just walking all over them.
It also is like just a matter of sheer practicality. I need all of my energy and faculties to be subjected to a good kill.
Yeah.
I can't allow the emotion to take any of that energy.
Yeah.
Or else I might mess up.
Yeah.
It could go badly.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of inuring yourself to it. You are not becoming numb. I think that's a bad metaphor.
Yeah.
It's not like your emotions are being deadened.
Right.
And that like you don't care that the animal is dying. It's that you have disciplined your emotion to actually serve the task at hand, which is a humane death, a good death for that animal.
Yeah.
It's not that you are callous or unfeeling. It's that you are actually more disciplined, which means you're actually in a higher state of awareness. Because like when you're flooded with emotion, depending on the emotion or the passion, you can be less aware of things.
Yeah.
A crazy, extravagant example would be an anger, rage or wrath, or if you're livid, you're not noticing things. You're like off, you're blind to so many things around you. You're not noticing the damage you're doing to other people. And if you tune that down, a lot, it's not necessarily a benefit to be feeling super strongly. And so if you're actually disciplined when it comes to the moment of the kill, you are actually more aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
You're aware of everything that could maybe go wrong. Therefore, you're better able to strategize and put hedges up against that to ensure a good kill. You're more at the service of the sacrifice, at the service of the kill, than at your own service.
That can be applied not just to killing, too. I think even to basic food preparation or bacon making. Some of these, I guess especially bacon making, because bacon is such a hot food item. It's what's the word? It's just such a, like you say, bacon, and everyone has their own.
It's an icon of foodie extravagance.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Someone once said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, and not just even like the way that we make bacon. I'm talking like at large.
Yeah,
Americans love to make bacon jokes, put bacon paraphernalia all over their kitchens. I mean, really
put it in candy bars and stuff.
And everything. Yeah. We've just idolized it. And anyway, why did I bring that up? We get emotional about it. And I think that actually takes away from making good bacon, because if you have your conviction, which in this analogy would be your intellect, properly ordered, and then you will to make bacon, you're not going to let the emotions or the amateurish zeal, be your primary motivating factor. Because if that's all you have, you're not going to make bacon very long. You're going to stop. It's going to get boring, or you're going to catch on to some other fad or something. I don't know. Yeah. It's less appetitive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's why I say, it's such a trick to tell, especially young people today, to follow your passion. Yeah. As if you're supposed to figure that out like right away. Yeah. And I get what the intent is behind that, but I think it's misleading. It's kind of cruel, because you don't know what your passion is. If we're going to take passion and interpret it in the best possible light,
okay,
it means like you're calling the thing that you should do for the world. And I would say that you don't know what you love until you sacrifice for it, until you find yourself doing it, even when you don't like it so much. That's the thing you love. That's the thing that you are supposedly passionate about. Is the thing you keep doing when the passion is dead, when it's ebbing, a half inch of inspiration barely, up your heels. Like there's just you are empty and you're still doing it. Then you can think, maybe I believe in this. I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
And that's definitely been,
it's more up here.
A lot of the story. Well, yeah, and it's a matter of discipline. And once you've busted through that wall, it's like, okay, this is real. This is not just a matter of my my whim, right?
That's right. That's actually what virtue is. It's a habit.
Yeah.
That is the definition. It's a good habit, and a bad habit is a vice. It's this good thing that we've acquired the ability to keep doing because we're on autopilot about it.
So it actually becomes easier.
It does.
Which is really nice.
That's right. Because if you do something great once, it's called accidental virtue. It's not to belittle it. It's just, it was kind of an accident. And keep doing it and it'll be real virtue. But sometimes we fall into accidental virtue because we get really hyped up about something.
Yeah.
And we want to do it, or sometimes at the worst, it's like we want to, fancy ourselves to be someone that would do this. But that's just not going to stick.
Yeah.
So, making a habit out of it.
Yeah, because what does stick is the desire to feed your children good bacon.
Yes.
Like that doesn't go away. Or, the conviction, I should say. You might not have the desire anymore. You might be exhausted.
Yeah.
And then your desire is just not there.
Well,
But you believe this is what I want them to eat well. I want them to know the cost of this food. And so it really helps for that to become easy on the third decade of slaughtering your own pig and eating 30 pounds of bacon.
Yeah. Desire isn't really a passion, though. Desire is more of a will.
Right, yeah.
Faculty.
Right.
So it's like a step up from the passion.
Yes.
I guess you can have...
Yeah, I guess I'm saying, you have the fleeting inspiration to feed your children bacon versus...
Yeah.
I think that is more of it's a desire. It's more of a prolonged conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people do you know you would say truly share your back to the land values? Or your passion for home-scale craft meat curing? Or simply love the multifaceted beauty of a good meal as obsessively as you do? Maybe a handful? At farmsteadmeatsmith.com, we've created an online community of hundreds of omnivores from around the world and a platform for them to learn from and inspire one another. In addition to our major semi-annual hands-on educational event, The Family Pig, here at our Pacific Northwest homestead, over at farmsteadmeatsmith.com, we host a purely digital membership program with an archive of film and textual resources years deep now, for you to dive deeper into your food journey with. And both our classes and online program include access to our private community Facebook page for your continued education and fellowship. We've been told that our classes are life-changing and the membership program unparalleled in quality and quantity. To get a taste of our education, search farmsteadmeatsmith.com and our YouTube channel for our free films, conversations, and downloads. Explore how we and other meatsmiths across the globe may best come alongside you, putting the knife in your hand, article by article, and comment thread by comment thread, and can support you in building your home around the harvest. Please head to farmsteadmeatsmith.com today. What else can we say about bacon?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I feel bad for people who've completely... This was a exploratory podcastery.
Yeah. Well, you keep talking about excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And excellence is, and I was trying to resolve this in my head, because virtue is like the golden mean between two extremes.
Yeah.
But it is kind of an extreme thing to make bacon the way that we make it. So you are becoming sort of a radical. I mean that in a good sense.
Yeah.
To be pursuing the type of this excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So excellence has this like quality of never finishing.
Yeah.
Like you're just constantly further up, further in. Like it's beyond us.
Yeah.
And yet to be disciplined is to be balanced. Where am I going with this? I was trying to come up with a difference between, I guess, virtue, which is a mean, and the fact that excellence, like there's nothing average about our bacon.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It is actually quite beyond.
It is.
Which is not the golden mean.
We make beyond bacon.
But we become the golden mean, maybe. We become disciplined and balanced.
Yeah, I think that you could almost say that virtue and excellence are synonyms. And so I don't like an excessively good bacon is just bacon.
Yeah.
That's the virtue of bacon.
Ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good ordinary.
It pertains more to our choices.
Yeah, I mean, there's that quote that we love: the most extraordinary thing in the world is an ordinary fill in the blank wherever you want.
Good ordinary things.
Yeah, which
Pigs
we've kind of lost in this culture anyway. So it would actually make sense that.
Well, that's what I love about bacon, is it inherently ordinary.
Yeah.
And of course, bacon we're talking about as an icon for all of the yield of a pig and a small farm. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
it's everything.
Yeah.
But we just keep using that term.
Yeah.
But I guess bacon technically itself, it is this very ordinary thing. It is so mundane.
So it's average. It is average.
Yeah.
But it's so average.
It's so average. It's so ordinary.
Yeah.
And so when you do, I mean, that's the delight in it, I think, is that you actually find this excellence in this extraordinarily ordinary daily thing, which means you're finding excellence daily. You're actually experiencing it.
Yeah. Our daily bread.
Yes, the bread you make is excellent, but it is daily. So mundane. Yeah. It is daily. And so what you're actually doing in this humble way is filling your life with proper delight.
Yeah.
That is not over, it's not excessive, and nor is it deficient.
Yeah.
It's
maybe that's why we've had to come up with
humble delight.
Bacon jam and bacon shaving cream or whatever, like bacon, because we've lost real bacon.
Nobody's making bacon at home.
We have to dress it up in these crazy.
Well, and nobody's making it, so they're feeling this bacon-shaped void in their hearts.
Yeah.
For the putting a lot into the ordinary, what was I going to say about that? That made me think of something. Jane Grixon of course, encapsulates all of this, and our culture kind of expects us to, if we're intelligent, to be bored by domesticity.
Right.
And domesticity is the place of ordinary human delight. Like that's right. That's what I think of. It is your kitchen in your home. Yeah. So if each little thing is oriented towards excellence, expresses some virtue in you or your family members, then that is the seat of delight. And then she also has, she talks about the home garden as being an assertion of delight in the human scale. Wow. It's just like poetry. She just writes poetry. And it's, that is, the delight proper to us is actually more delightful. If it's on our scale.
Yes.
And what she's talking about is like, imagining, home gardens behind every house. That's the human scale. It's subsidiarity,
Yes.
It's not this grand centralized thing that promises excess. And so like we go crazy, and we can buy it all for so cheap. We can drink so much Coke, and then they give us some moderate version of it, and they call it Diet Coke. It's just so pathetic. It's like, you don't fall for that. And no one does, or they would be listening to this. But really, like, the delight is in the prosperity is in good husbandry. Mm-hmm. Actually, in the small human scale, mm-hmm. like your backyard, where your pig is, mm-hmm. and that the virtue of pig raising.
Yeah, it really is a mean too, because it's easy for us to err on both sides of that scale.
Yeah,
like we either want to self-aggrandize maybe and mm-hmm. like capture, especially like if you own your own business, you're like, wow, this is amazing, I need to extrapolate this and like market it and make everyone mm-hmm. aware of this. Or even just on social media, mm-hmm. right? Like that's what we all are tempted to do when you're experiencing something humble and amazing. Grab a picture of it, and then like mm-hmm. and the whole world can know, instead of just enjoying it in your own scale. Mm-hmm. Or never going for it at all and saying, well, I can't make a delightful meal. Mm-hmm. And just sort of shooting yourself before you even start.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that, you have to push through every single wall. I mean,
you don't have to pick all the battles.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But picking some battles when they are appropriate to your life.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have so many skills that we don't even use.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The things we can do with our hands and our opposable thumbs, like all the crafts, all the art in the universe comes from these. Right? It's amazing. So you can actually do it all.
Yeah.
Like you can make the best bacon, you can make the best ham ever in your kitchen. Better than anything you can purchase. It's like a fact.
Yeah.
So
that's all French cuisine is trying to do anyway.
Go for it.
Is create peasant food.
Recreating at least the provincial French cooking.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
It is. Well, and even all the haute cuisine chefs are like hearkening back to grandma's recipes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great. This has been a great conversation, I think.
Yeah. That was wide-ranging.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me. Mm-hmm. Again, we have lots of family pig classes available and membership available for purchase using the 60-day trial promo code at checkout. If you'd like a couple months of trial to see if all that content in there is appropriate for you and your needs. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, I keep going back to, the way to be when you're killing an animal. And I was going to say, I don't think I feel nothing when I kill a pig. What I feel is exactly what I'm doing. Like it's integrated.
You're present.
I feel focused. It's an extraordinary degree of self-possession in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think other people might feel sad around me, but they don't want me to feel too sad.
Yeah.
Because then I might miss.
Yeah.
I might try to be tender in that moment. And
that's not what you want.
Yeah, you don't want to be light-handed.
It really has been, I think, a important factor. There's been a reason why you are a melancholic. We've been studying these 4 temperaments because we're just exploding in our desire to be all things Aristotelian right now. But the 4 temperaments. choleric and sanguine and
melancholic and phlegmatic.
I was always kind of poo-pawing this because I was a psych major, and this was too medieval, too...
Those stupid medievals.
Yeah, unpolished.
Gave us everything we know. Yeah.
I know.
Like hospitals and universities and orphanages.
I know.
Everything good.
Plus, it was too anchored in the body. Right. Whereas psychology is more about the head and our own mentality and
very Cartesian. Yeah.
Yeah. But so we both have rediscovered this. But anyway, I think you're being melancholic. So slower to react.
Oh, But
it's not like you're slow.
Well,
I mean,
no, is. It is a slowness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I experience it that way, and it actually helps me slow down time, because that's the thing that really makes it difficult to shoot a pig is the impulse to rush it, to squeeze off that shot really quick, to grab that short window of opportunity where the pig is moving his head to get the shot, and then to kind of rush after the shot to the sticking. And it's actually I actually relish, in the sense of I find it very useful to slowly react in those times. Yeah. To be slow, which is weird.
Right.
But to shoot, wait, unload to pop the empty shell out of the gun. I don't fill the clip, by the way, so there's nothing else in there. Just one bullet in the gun at a time. And
to catch it midair, even.
Well, it's like that little step. It really helps me. It's almost like what is it almost like? It's like when Aslan tells Peter to clean his sword a little bit after he kills the wolf. It is it's a reorientation, because you can lose yourself in the moment under the emotion to hasten, and it's like, no, we can still actually be discerning here. We still need to think. Can't lose our minds and rush.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if anyone else is tempted to do this, but in that moment I am. And so I feel like that little pause to even do something that feels superfluous, like to catch the shell, is actually we can actually pause, pick the proper place to stick the pig to maximize the bleed out, and to be able to catch the blood. Yeah. And that slowness, injecting that little symbolic act, helps slow it down. Slow down time a little bit. Because time, when you're in a heightened emotional state, it's like you turn around and things are going way faster than you thought.
Well, good gunmanship at all, right? They'll tell you, like, get these things in your body, because when you're actually having to shoot, I mean, God forbid, but in a self-defense kind of situation, which you're not in when you're hunting or shooting for the farm, but you need to have these little tiny motions down, right? Like checking the barrel, or I don't know all of them, but
treating an unloading gun as if it is loaded, which is a completely senseless thing to do in terms of it's not loaded, so why do you care about where you point it? But
as part of the liturgy,
no one would doubt the essentialness of doing that, the importance of that. They're symbolic acts, but they are no less real for being symbolic. Like, they're utterly essential.
Meaningful. They're
meaningful.
Still meaningful. Well, anyway, I just brought that up because I think it has served you well, that personality temperament. And I would almost say, because personality is fluid, right? You can kind of train yourself to be this way or that way if you feel like it's advantageous to, for whatever reason. And I think that a melancholic disposition as a slaughterman is probably the best temperament. And it's... Anyway, it's that's you in your best moments, as far as like heightened sense of ability, and like you're taking in all kinds of information and processing it, and then acting with precision and effect, being very effective, not wanting to waste any movements on anything, emotion or anything. It's not when you want to be like the most sanguine. Like you need to kind of temper that.
Yeah.
Or choleric,
to feel really intensely.
Or to act too quickly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then maybe not leave impressions. That's a whole nother thing. But because then you do leave long-lasting impressions because you've been so calculated up until those points. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the 3-year-old prosciutto.
That's right.
That's a long-lasting impression.
That's right. Yeah. Or someday, we dream a dream maybe for the next 5-10 years would be to get a sow and really make that project happen. So it's like a longer generational thing.
That's a good example of a moment where I would be really tempted to feel strongly about killing a sow you've had for 3 years and it's just time to retire her. But all the more compelled by my conviction to not be overwhelmed emotionally during the kill. Yeah. Like that would be, because of my emotional attachment to that animal, because of my love. That is actually precisely the reason why I cannot allow myself to be distracted by my own feeling. Yeah. Afterwards is probably the more appropriate time. And then you can channel that in preparing the flesh in the highest and best way in gratitude.
I don't want to keep going on these rabbit trails, but you're reminding me, so like 2 rounds of pigs ago, we did stumble upon the perfect female Gloucester Old Spot, and we called it. We called her. We told ourselves this would be a crime of passion because we were considering keeping her for a sow.
And we're not prepared to have a sow.
And we're not. Yeah. We're just not there yet.
Not to do it well. We would have caused her and us great suffering.
But we kind of considered it because we're like, she is so perfect.
Yeah. She was sweet. She was long. She was
calm. She got perfect body type. We kind of fell in love with her. Yeah. And that was actually one of the harder ones to put down. Not put down, but harvest. And likewise, we have this batch of IPPs right now.
I haven't told anyone this yet.
I know. I should temper it, but I've seen you get more emotional over these guys.
We have a phrase that we learned from our friend Andrew Plotsky, who we've raised pigs with many years ago. You get some batches of pigs that are not as, affable as others. They're not so calm and nice. We call them gurks. Because they kind of act like jerks. Yeah. But they're pigs. And they kind of make a gurk sound. And that's what these guys are. It's probably not because they're IPPs or anything. It's just this batch, man. Whew, biting at your calves every time you go in. You know those pigs. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They are testing the fence. They get zapped every time I come in there.
They have not learned.
Yeah, I walk in with the, if I'm outside their pen with the food, they know I'm coming. And I feed them more than they could possibly consume. But they still act like they're dying every time, and they get zapped over and over and over
I know. And the stupidity only angers us more.
It's like, guys, and I don't even know if it's stupidity. They just know it's like a zap, and I don't care. Like, I'm impatient. Bring it, buddy. Woo.
They're not grateful. I know. We get so emotional.
I know, man. It's just we're spoiled. We've been spoiled because we've always had old spots, or not always, but for the past 3 years or so. And they're just so docile. They never do that. That now that we have, I'm sure these pigs are actually just more normal in their temperament. Yeah. Old spots are exceptionally chill. They're
just like what we used to raise back when we only had like 1 or 2 kids, and I was actually feeding the pigs. I haven't fed pigs in almost years, except for when you go out of town for a job, like you did a couple weeks ago. You went to Oklahoma, and I I had to feed them.
Yeah.
And I'm a little more sanguine, but mostly choleric, actually. And whew, my cholericism came out on these pigs. And it's just funny because, I mean, you've turned into my personality over these pigs.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
It's funny to me. And I know you're going to enjoy harvesting them, but I know that you're also going to be tempered too.
It's actually going to be harder to harvest them because they are so antsy.
Yeah,
they move nonstop.
It will take.
So it's going to be a trick. It's going to be a tricky shot.
Yeah.
The way to feed them, by the way, there is a strategy to it.
Uh-huh.
So you have to start 20 yards away.
Okay.
And you have to run with the food in your hand. And then you have to jump in before they can crowd you and sprint to each bull. Because if you just walk up right to their fence line with the food in your hand, then they're all right there.
All five
and
of
you're
them.
literally like walking on top of them and they're biting your calves.
Or kicking them. You just have to kick them.
Yeah, they bite, they get you.
Yeah.
And so I found that you actually have to, and it's about 20 yards because you have to start far away enough that they can't hear that you're coming.
Yeah. We had a name for this.
Gurks.
No, the Mad Piggy Dash.
Oh, yeah. We haven't done that for years, though.
No. Yeah. It's kind of funny
to
see someone just running through a pothole-infested land
Yeah.
with 5-gallon buckets on either side. So it's already this, like, awkward kind of running race with awkward weights in your hands and these...
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's the Mad Piggy Dash.
Yeah.
We're doing it again. Gonna get old spots in.
We are. Yeah. Well, they're going to be gone this November, December for the family pig that we're gearing up for. And yeah, we did source some. It's hard to find Gloucester old spots in this area, so that's why we went with the IPPs.
Yeah.
This year.
And they'll be good. They'll be tasty. What we would do if I were to raise them again is totally change the setup.
Oh, okay.
The fact is we've gotten lazy because old spots are so sweet.
That's true.
Our feeding regimen has just been, it's so, it's tailored to old spots.
You're right.
I would change the setup if I did IPPs in the future.
Yeah. Okay, well, we need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. You can receive updates on all our brand new content as it's released by signing up for our email newsletter. Free download of Brandon's thoughts on meat cookery included. Go to farmsteadmeatsmith.com and sign up on the homepage. Thanks again for listening, and keep in touch.